Just wondering.
Perfect. Sound
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. Today I just was wondering if you could help me. I'm like doing a back and forth negotiation with
Oh,
the
good. Yeah.
seller. I don't mind giving you the address and everyone's seeing because I've hit a brick wall here with them. So I had
Okay.
a decent deal structured in the beginning, but they just didn't like the monthly payments. They wanted me to they said have to be at least more than double what I was offering them in monthly payments. I tried to get as
Um,
close to it as I could, but I couldn't. So I just want to
did
see
did
what
you
I can
explain
do.
to them that it doesn't cash flow if that happens?
I did. I mean, I did. Spoke to the realtor. She just, it looks like they're willing to kind of move on the purchase price, but they want the monthlies to be at a certain place. So that's why I was wondering if you
Okay.
can help me with that. And I'm just
Yeah,
going to send you the
absolutely.
address here.
All right. And you're sure you want to share it with everybody, huh?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I've hit a brick wall, and to me, I
Okay.
don't
Well,
really need
everybody
it.
in the chat, do me a favor, don't call it. Just because then what happens then they have way too many people calling, and it just totally poisons the whole deal.
Mhm.
Because then we try to call and they're like, "Oh, I'm hearing too much from too many people." They get all sad.
Yeah,
We
it's all
don't.
good. And this could just be a learning experience for everyone too, because if I've hit a brick wall, I'm sure everyone else has hit that wall at some point. So
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay.
take a look at that. I just DM'd it to you, and I just
Oh,
kind of want to
perfect.
see how you run it on the calculator. If you don't mind, maybe sharing your screen on the calculator, and we could see how
Well,
you
you're
run it.
gonna hate this, Adam, because I don't use a calculator. I
Okay,
do it in my brain.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so,
interesting.
but I do it in my brain in an easy way because I'm not too smart, and so I hate math, and so my whole philosophy in this is the more we get on the phone, the better. And
Mhm.
so I do really simple calculations that kind of generally are going to cash flow really well,
Gotcha.
because I'm a massive, like, I want a deal and I don't
Yeah,
want
me
it to
too.
be anything. Yeah. And the reason I'm so obsessed with that is because it's next to impossible to sell these things to the buyers.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, so let's look at it and just see where we're at. So
Yeah, sure.
right now you're at 399.
Yeah, that's the list price they have. And then I just kind of
Okay.
sent you the combo I've had with them through email, what I offered them, and then the
Okay,
realtor
have you
gave
done
me
all
the
this
price.
through email or have you talked to
I
them?
spoke to her on the phone, and
Okay, good.
I relayed the offer that way, and then we kind of started chatting through email, and she relays what the seller says in her email, so you can also see in the pinkish purple font what the seller's asking for, and I just
Okay.
don't think I can make that work. So I was just
Do me a
curious.
favor, put that part in the chat just so everybody can see what you're up against.
Yeah, sure.
Um and we'll so we can really beat them up on the condition of the outside. That's one place I like to go is with the landscaping because you can charge whatever you want to. Um because a lot of this is showing them things that they already know, like there's gapping in that wood floor that would have to be fixed. And it's a laminate floor, it's not even wood because you can see that it's all peeling up. And so beating up the property a little bit is really kind of important to justifying the price that you're asking.
Gotcha.
Um, Secondly, it has to cash flow. We're investors, and so we don't care about anything but cash flow.
Hmm.
Um, there's a lot of damage on D, like the door going in.
Yeah.
So that all needs to be fixed. So I always try to find as much stuff as I can to complain about.
Yeah, I noticed that. And also, I don't know if you mentioned it, that back step looks like it's missing. So I assume we'd want to put a step there at the back. But
Oh yeah, and if there's no step, let me see. Is that later in the pictures or earlier?
it's like at the back of the house outside on the exterior. Should be one of the first. Oh,
Let me check
no,
it.
yeah, it's about in the middle.
What's
Just looks like there was a step and there no longer is. But Yeah, I think I mentioned the dented door on D to her. I did mention some things. We'd need some paint, just some minor work, but I think the sellers were a
Okay.
little offended by my offer. I don't know why. I was giving 50K over. They just didn't appreciate the monthly payments where they were at. So I was just wondering if we could crunch some numbers and move something around. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
absolutely.
tried negotiating, and that's where I get my approval also.
Let me ask you, so did you come in at 4, would you come in at 460 right away?
450.
That was your first offer?
That was, well, I did the cash. I did cash, which was 70%. So I did the cash offer
Okay.
as the first offer, and then I led into the 450 with 42K down, and their monthly payments would have been at 1,349, and they just
Okay.
really did
And what?
not like those monthly payments.
Okay, and it cash. I mean, it's a fourplex, correct?
Yeah, it was cash flowing at about, I think, 15.86%, about 534 per month. So that's where I had
And
it
what
at.
is the rent? What are the rents?
Okay, so apartment A is 1150 per
Give
month.
me, yeah, just give me a
Uh,
total. So it's about
okay,
$4,000.
sure. Here.
I'm going to assume they're all the same. Yeah.
No, they're actually different. So it's about 3,800.
Okay. Well, so here's the easy numbers I do. For it to cash flow really well, and really well is over 20% is what that's what sells. I know everybody tells you, oh, as long as it's like 12, 14%, you're good.
Mhm.
It's not true. It has to be way better. And so
Gotcha.
what I do, here's the simple math I do. I go 3,800 and I divide it by 4. And so the monthly payment, I want to keep it right around 950. And you said you
Sorry, could
offered
you
them
repeat that,
1,100.
Trent? I apologize. Could you
Yeah,
repeat what you just said?
no problem. The rents divided by 4. So 25% of the rents would be the payment to the seller.
Equals payment to seller. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
That guarantee is like a low ball, like cash flowing
Now that's
guaranteed.
seller finance. That's only seller finance,
Uh-huh.
right? Okay, got
Yeah, and that's what you're doing, right?
it. Okay, yeah, that is, yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's our first number, that 950. What were you offering?
I was offering above that 1349, so 1,349.
And they want 26?
She wanted at least double, she said.
Yeah, 26. Yeah. So
To even
what
consider it. That's what her words were. To even
yeah,
consider.
so one of the most important things in all of this is also knowing when to walk away.
Oh,
Okay.
for sure, yeah. Yeah, I
So
did let her know to keep me in mind in the future if it stays on the market for a while longer, to keep my offer in mind. I did
absolutely.
kind of let us know I didn't think it was going to be a good fit for us. So.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would go back with her with an official offer and drop the price and say, here, I talked to my team. We want to make sure this cash flows. It's the only way it works for us. So this is an offer they have for down the road, but the onus is on you to call them back. So put a reminder like in a month and just call them back. But let's drop things down just a little bit. Let's go to you offered them for 450.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just tell them, and this is because we're walking away. Let's just tell them the best we can do is 400. Okay. And we can do 20% down, which is 5% of the purchase price. And the only reason I'm doing this,
20% down is 5% of the purchase price. What do you mean? Sorry.
no, 20 grand for the
20 grand.
so
Okay.
yeah, 20 grand for the down payment, which is 5% of the purchase price.
Okay, gotcha.
I might have said 20%. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
And then we want a 10-year balloon, and 0% interest.
Yeah, they
Okay,
also
and
wanted interest, I believe.
yeah, and tell them that the interest was in the over on the purchase price. So I just want you to give them that back because now your price has dropped. Okay, so they had a chance of the other. It's just a nice anchor for them for down the road when things don't sell. How long has it been on?
I think it's like 28 days, not too long.
Okay, so it's brand new.
Yeah.
And just leave that offer with them. Now it's less than what you offered before.
Mhm.
So we're pushing back the other direction. I do it constantly whenever I do any kind of negotiation, because then they're like, oh, dang, we just lost out on that extra 50 grand that he offered us. So we're going to be unreasonable the other direction. Okay.
Good to know.
And honestly, it's one of those things where time is going to change this one. And so I'd much rather you on the phone talking to somebody else instead of trying to beat your head against the wall on this one.
Yeah.
So once they get that offer, just just say, hey, this offer doesn't expire. Really excited to do business with you guys. This is what I can offer. And you can blame it on your team. Hey, my team talked to me and told me I was over offering. And so, just because of the poor quality of the house and how much repairs need to happen, this is the best I can do. Thank you so much. Reach out in the future, blah, blah, blah. But then make sure you put it in your reminders to call them back in a month.
Okay.
Hey, just, it's Adam, just checking in, just seeing how you guys are doing. Did any bites on your place? My offer still stands. It doesn't expire.
Okay. And then I just have two quick questions, and then
Sure.
I'm done. So I think you answered this with your last one, saying the rent or the monthly payments have to be 25% of the monthly rent. Do we always try to keep the amortization at 30, despite being able to play with the
So
numbers?
here's the deal. Get away from amortization. It's something that's used in traditional lending to show you how much you're going to pay for a 30-year loan. That's really it. It's just a calculation. And so it's interesting. I see Richard teach it all the time where he's like, oh, well, let's make it 22 years and 3 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with that. I know that 25% of the rents is what I want to pay him. I don't care what that translates into as far as amortization.
Okay, I like that. That simplifies it a lot.
I'm
And then
about simplifying it. I can't even tell you, because again, being on the phone is everything, because every single thing I've purchased has not been the property I've called on. It's been a property that they had as a pocket listing. And a pocket listing is a listing that the realtor has. And so our batting average goes way up the more phone calls we make and the more contacts we have and the more realtors that we create a relationship with. And so I want that to be the focus in my world. Like my strategy is making that the focus instead of that calculator, because I watch people get on the calculator and they're getting down to the 0.0001% of whatever. And I'm like, oh, nope. I vomit in my mouth every single time.
yeah, I'm the
It
same.
drives
Math's
me
not my
crazy.
friend, so I like to keep it simple.
When I
My
think
final question.
it's more times than not, everybody feels that way. And not only is math not my friend, spreadsheets are not my friend. And so I get into the spreadsheet calculator that I've copied and did what I was supposed to do. And I change formulas somehow. I don't know how I do it. And then everything's screwed up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, nope, I'm getting away from those.
Got you. So my final question, Trent, you've been very helpful. I appreciate you.
Sure.
When we're doing a mortgage takeover, how do we calculate what the realtor and the seller get when buying out the mortgage? Like he always says, like 10, I'll buy you out for 10K, or he says like 13K and agent fees or whatever. How do we calculate that? Is it the purchase price of the house with some equipment?
Get ready for another crazy idea. With mortgage takeovers, I usually come in, I start with offering nothing, no matter how much equity they have. Because we have to find out the motivation of the seller. Sometimes the seller's got a time motivation. They don't care what they're going to get. They just want to get out, and they want to get out from underneath that $3,000, $4,000 a month payment.
Okay.
So right away, I always offer, hey, I can take that off your back. You're not going to have to deal with it anymore. Some people don't realize that they have equity in the house. Another place that they don't realize is they've put $10,000 into an escrow account on those accounts, and they don't realize that's there. There's so many different little places that there's money kind of hidden within these deals. I offer nothing to start. And these are always to start. And then let's find out what's going on. then the money that you pay them is going to be based on what they want. And so they'll be like, hey, you know, I need $7,000 to rent a U-Haul and get all my stuff to Oshkosh. You know, it's like, okay, well, hey, how about, you know, I can give you 10 because I know that there's $80,000 in equity, or there's $70,000 in equity. There's money somewhere else that I'm making sure that I'm covered. And then as far as the realtor goes, and usually in those situations where they really have about $20,000 in equity, and again, figuring out what the equity is really, that's the hard part, because I figure they don't have any equity the whole time because they've over offered on the purchase price is always 20 grand more than what they think they can get. It's just inherent in anybody that's putting a house up on the market. They're just going to put it up for 20 grand more. They just will. Nobody's coming in and saying, I think this is exactly what it's worth and I'm putting it up for that. So
the way you structure it, the realtor doesn't get paid their commission, because I thought that was the whole point of the pitch, is to.
No, it's a good point. So what I do is I ask the realtor, I say, hey, I'm noticing that they're going to walk away. They're not going to make a penny off this. Any chance that I could pay you maybe $500 to walk away from the deal? And I've had it both ways. Realtors are like, nope, I worked my butt off on this thing. I want my money. Fine. I just asked. I just wanted to find out. But I've also got a realtor that has said, hey, can you just pay me $1? I want to make sure they're represented because these are good people and I want to help them out. So you never know. And that's why the motivation is so important, is finding out the motivation, because that is a way to do it. Now, if you are offering them 10 grand to walk away, the realtor's commission is within that $10,000. And so again, you're relieving. Yeah, they will get their 3% out of that 10. Okay. 3%. So they're not getting 3% of the 10. That's the down payment that's going to pay their 3%, because remember, sellers contract with the realtors. We don't. And so that's up to the seller and the realtor to decide what's gonna happen. But more times than not, you know, realtors, they're human beings, and we can probably talk them down a little bit and be like, hey, I'm an investor. I'll work with you in the future. Let's talk about it. Let's, you know, I want to make sure you're not left in the weeds, but these guys aren't making any money. And so those are some of the things I do. So, but if they have $100,000 in equity, it's okay to give them 20 grand and say, hey, let me give you 20 grand, but you really have to find your ARV. If it's a turnkey place, you need to find comps that are really reasonable and that makes sense, so you know exactly what the house is worth. Otherwise, you're playing a game of, you know, who knows. And so I always take the comps and subtract about $15,000, just so I've got a buffer. And if it cash flows, you're okay. But sometimes we buy those without cash flowing. The reason being is we can usually get a portion of our mortgage paid for, and the house is nice enough that you don't need to do any repairs. And then you can set up that house for a lease option where somebody can come on. You can find a retail buyer that can't afford, or not, they can't qualify for a loan, and you can move them into that house. And the way it works is, if you have like a 3% interest rate, you move them into the house and increase the rents, because they're expecting to pay more. They can't qualify for a loan. And so then that's your margin, is kind of your rent. That's the money you're going to get between your interest rate. Let's just keep it simple. I have a $3,000 a month place that I rent out for $5,000, or not rent out, but I lease to own for $5,000 a month. And I tell the tenant that they get $500 credit towards the future purchase of the house. And so they're really paying about 15 grand or 1,500 to me, but they know they're kind of nest egging this $500. And so that's another way to get rid of those properties that don't cash flow, but have, you know, they're pristine and they're turnkey. Does that all make sense?
Yeah,
or did I just much stuff down your throat?
Oh, you took the long path, but it makes sense.
Yeah. That was a long path.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, Trent. Thank you. That answers all my questions, and thanks for getting me up on stage. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime. Yeah. Call me anytime. I mean, be okay letting some things go, but keep the relationship the relationship with the realtor is the most important part.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Trent. I appreciate you.
All right, bro. See ya. All right. CS Design, what's going on? Wait,
Can you hear me?
Where's Maverick?
Oh, he's in the background. He was making his breakfast this morning, so he popped in quickly. But he's like, "Oh, I want to be on this." I'm like, "Well, I'm going live, so let's go." Okay, so I was sort of hang on a second. I called a guy yesterday on a house or on a property I saw in Zillow, and he called me back. It turned out that he actually has that specific one under contract, like it just came under contract, which is great for him. But he's like, "Hey, look, I got 2 other properties. Would you be interested in them?" And I actually sent them to you. Hey, Maddie, Trent says hi. So I sent them to you, the addresses. He actually just listed them back onto Zillow. He's renovated. So he's a handy guy and he's a buyer. And we had like an hour conversation. The first property that I sent to you in your inbox was a multi-family. It's an up and a down. It's in Detroit. And I plugged it into this platform, the Airtable one, because I decided to purchase it and try and get my deals through there, figure it out. That's the one that Nick has. So good. What happened is, hang on a second, where's the
now is that the address it comes up under? Or is it one or the other on Zillow? I'm not seeing it.
You might have taken it down. Give me one sec.
No, it could be just an address too. So, because those addresses are funny sometimes.
I did send it to you in your inbox. Give me one second.
Yeah, I got it. No, it's got 2 addresses. It's got the 10,000, 10,002.
Yeah, okay, so that's because it's 2 units. Sorry, so you just have to plug in the first combo, and then because it's an up and a down.
Yeah, it's not coming up. Okay, let me see if I can get
it. It doesn't. Maybe I can send you the link from my end.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be super.
Just
sometimes easy. They're just funny.
Don't say the address out loud, babe.
Oh, okay.
No, please don't.
I can't even stop yapping.
Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, there, that's why. There we go. Let's send this link to him now. Whoops.
First copy.
Okay. Why isn't it? Okay, here we go. So, because you can't see what the place looks like because he just listed, but he sent me all the details through our communication, like through text and stuff. But it's a really beautiful property. It's like he's renovated it and cleaned it up.
Okay. And I see what I was just typing it. I just had Broadway. So that's okay. I got you now. All right.
So it's actually a really beautiful place. He's renovated. It's a 2 unit. I plugged it into the
And what is he asking for it?
On this one, he is asking.
Just one
momentum
thing, and then you went back. I'm confused.
I believe this one was.
And it's free and clear, or do we know?
It is. He paid cash for it a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Inside the air.
Does that make sense? Right.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Is it 170? Is that what
It
he's
is.
asking? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
And what's it rent for?
This one is renting for, I believe, 3,000 total, up
So
and down combined.
1,500.
So I think one's 1,580 and the other's 1,410 or something like that.
Okay, perfect. So 3,000 total. Great.
And it is, yes, it's a section. It is Section 8. He got approved, and I believe he said he now has no, he doesn't have tenants in this one. This one's just ready to go for, like, it's ready to get rented out. But when I plugged everything in, the seller finance, like, he was open to seller finance.
Okay, what'd you offer him?
I haven't offered anything. It's sitting right now in the air table platform.
Okay, so let's figure out what you want to do, and I keep everything super simple. Good, Maverick.
Okay.
I'm glad you're here. Maverick, you got to watch this one. Okay, so what I want to do is the most important thing the seller wants to know is what's he going to get paid each month, right?
Exactly.
So I keep it super simple. I just say the rents are $3,000. I divide it by 4, and that way it gives me 25% of the rents is $750. Okay, so 750. This is where we start. Okay, so if you use buy box shows you prices where you would end, and I think it's confusing because I think people use that as their first offer. But my first offer would be $750 a month. Then I offer. So he's asking 170, right?
That's correct.
So I go 170 times 5%, and so my down payment would be $8,500. Okay, super simple. So that's it. That's all your calculations right there. 0% interest. We don't really mention it until they ask about it, and we want a 10-year balloon if we can get it.
Okay, so when I plug the information into that platform of Nick's, it spits out the prices, and it tells me that the down payment's $14,000, the monthly is $380. Then it goes the cash on return, 0%, 10-year balloon, closing date next month. I can't go in and change those numbers for some reason.
Okay, yeah. Nick will come on sometime. I'll talk to him about that and see.
I think he was on a flight to Dubai last night.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was 14 hours. He left at 6. So I did send him a message, but I haven't heard from him. He's probably sleeping. I don't know.
Either sleeping or flying. Okay, so so the numbers I gave you are the bottom of the barrel, nice low numbers. Start there, see what he wants. The place that I go up, if I go up on anything, is that 170. So that 170, we can say, well, would you be opposed to me paying you 190? Okay, because giving him an extra 20 grand, as long as you can keep that payment low, is totally fine.
And that's the monthly payment of the $750, correct?
$750. We want to keep it as close to $750 as we can keep it.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna rewrite that. I'm gonna send that I'm gonna try and see if I can get that in. I just don't want to send the email if I can't change those numbers inside that
Don't
portal.
worry about that. We already changed it. So write just copy and paste the email and write it from your own email. Yeah, I don't want tech to ever get in the way of you making your offer. Okay.
Fair enough.
And keep in mind that's all new tech, and he's working on it. So he might be able to just change 2 things and make it so you can edit those numbers.
100%. So so now the guy has a second property, which is the single single family unit. And I already sent you the details after the call.
So tell me what you're going to do with that, knowing what we just did.
So his asking price, he told me he'd be willing to give it to me for $115. I think he's got it listed for $122.
Okay.
based on what you did the first time, I'm not very good in math, but my son is like
No, that's the whole point. Is
okay.
I'm terrible at math, and that's why I developed this. It's 10 times easier.
Okay, so he's asking 122, but he said I could have it for 115, but that was based on a cash offer.
Okay.
And I don't want to do the cash offer, so I'm looking at.
Okay, but before you add any money on this, go to him with that cash offer price. Okay, that's where you're going to start. That's my whole point. Is I want to make sure you start low, and you can play dumb. You're like, oh, I didn't realize that was a cash offer. Okay. But work your numbers from that 115. Okay.
Okay. So if I'm doing so I take 115,000 times 5%.
Yep.
I need a calculator. Give me a sec.
Yeah, I'll help you out.
Perfect.
It's 55,750. So let's call it $5,000. Okay.
Okay. So the $5,000 is what I would give down.
Yep.
And then my monthly would be divided by 20. Is it 24?
How much are the rents?
Oh, the rent on this one is 1907.
Cool.
And the great thing about this is it's another brand new, like he renovated and everything, and he has a tenant that just moved in, has a year, and it's a Section 8. So she's locked in at 1907.
Okay, perfect. So type in 19, let's call it 1900. Keep your numbers simple. So 1900.
Okay. Yeah.
And what are you going to do with the 1900?
Divide it
by? You're right.
The last 24?
No, by 4. Because it's 20. We're trying to get 25% of the rent.
Oh, right.
Super simple. No, that's fine. It's kind of, it's stressful. So that would it'll put it at 475. That's our payment to him. How simple is that? You know exactly what you're going to offer him.
Yeah, got it.
And so now, when he says no, you can increase the purchase price. That's where you want to always increase. We're totally good with increasing the purchase price, and we're okay with increasing the down payment. Those two things are fine to increase. We want to keep the monthly as low as possible. Okay. And everything is in small increments. We don't want to say, well, okay, I'll give you 10,000 down. No, you say, how about 6? If he wants a higher down payment. Okay? But we always start with the purchase price. That's where we want. And you can go $20,000, $30,000 above what they want on the purchase price, but do it slowly. $5,000 at a time. Like you want 115, how about 120? Would that be better? Or they say, well, no, I need more than that. Oh, well, how much do you need? Always ask them. Let them give you numbers, because then he might say, well, I need 125, and you're willing to go to 150. You know what I mean? So it's always let them guide but you're walking him into that. Okay. So that's it. Yeah. And then you want to try to get a 10-year balloon if you can. We're okay if it comes down to 8 or 7. That's totally fine. But we want 10 years. And again, these are all starting places. And so I don't want it to be, these guaranteed are going to cash flow positive, these numbers. And so that's when to start. And these numbers guaranteed will sell because they're nice and an investor's going to love it.
Okay. So the question I know that you said to write it from my own email, but inside of the portal, I have it all in there.
Okay. So make that offer and then just change the numbers once you copy and paste. Yeah. So you'll be fine. You should be able to change
I'm actually able to go into the email and redo everything. No problem. I can I can add,
Oh,
change, whatever. It's just that part where he has that calculator of what they, when you punch in the numbers and you ask the questions and then it comes.
I honestly haven't used it yet, so I don't know because I do it just in my brain. Yeah, no, and we'll talk to Nick. I'll send him a message and just say, hey, is there a way to make that so it's editable?
Okay. I do have one more question about the first offer. When we were dividing the 3,000 by 20, was it by 24?
No, I don't know where you get 24 from. You keep
So
on
it was by 4 because it's like the quarter.
It's a quarter of it, yeah. So by 25%. So I do it by 4 just because 25% is so confusing to people. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's confusing to me. Percentages always get confusing. That's why I just say divided by 4. So now you know that's 25% of it.
Awesome. So I'm going to work on this. I'm going to send him the offer, and then I can come back and let you know how it turned out.
Great. Excellent. Okay, you're killing it.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. You bet. Take care. Okay, guys. Yeah, let's keep it simple. That's that's kind of my mantra because I am not too bright. All right, let's go to Strider. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
So that deal I talked to you about on, I think it was Friday, could have been Thursday, I'm not sure. The one where I offered way over because they have like 14% equity, and I was taking over the mortgage, which is about 10 grand over their list price.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how much I'm supposed to actually offer them, because you said to offer them 0 down. I'm trying to structure it and then cover realtor commission, and I'm just struggling with trying to structure that.
Okay, and the realtor's commission is the duty of the seller, so you don't have to worry about it. That's not your cost. That's the seller. Yeah, so the seller pays the realtor, and so a lot of time when they have equity and they've got money in their home, the down payment will cover that realtor's commission. But when they don't have any equity, then they've got to figure out a way to cover their realtor on their own. So what I do in those situations is I talk to the realtor and I'm like, hey, these guys have no equity. They're losing their house. I mean, they're in a dire situation. I know you don't work for free, but in order to get the deal done, I'm willing to give you $500. Okay. And so it satisfies them a little bit. Again, it's not foolproof, but it's worked for me several times.
Okay. So just kind of go with humanity, just appeal to the humanity.
Exactly, 100%. And like I said earlier, I mean, I had a guy that did it for $1. He's like, yeah, I just want to make sure he's represented. It's no skin off my chest. I'd love to get this done. Sometimes what you'll get brokers that will come in and be like, nope, not doing it because the broker wants his money. But it's just kind of pleading with them like, hey, I can do this deal and I can get this off your books, but they're not going to make any money. So, let's all help them out.
Okay. So in this case, the homeowner is still going to lose some money, but it's not going to be as much.
Exactly. And honestly, I mean, we always feel bad about that. Like, just as people, we're like, oh, I want to get something for him. But if there's any kind of assignment fee that's in there for you, you don't want to give that away to the realtor. You know what I mean? Okay. So you're kind of protecting your assignment fee in those. And again, sub-2s don't have huge assignment fees. It's just not usually the case. So unless they have $100,000 in equity, I bought one from Richard and I paid him 10 grand for his assignment fee because it was $100,000 in equity. And so I'm like, okay, I'm making a killing here, so that's no problem. And it was 0 down. I didn't have to pay anything for it. Mm-hmm. So those deals are out there, but it's all negotiating and just, working them back and forth the best you can.
Right. All right. Thank you.
You bet. Take it easy. All right. Cheese ball. What's up?
Hey Trent, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Not much. So, I got a deal under contract. I didn't sign it yet. I reviewed it. And anyways, so it didn't have an assignment clause, and they were doing a couple things that were definitely going to mess with me. Like I was going to have to pay fees. So I hit him back. I said, okay, I have to reread this. There's definitely going to be some changes needed. So I rewrote the contract, and I was just
Okay.
wondering if you could approve it or not.
All right. Let's check it out.
1 second. Is it okay if I put the whole thing in your DMs?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. Hold on, I have to break it up because I don't. It's too long.
Okay, cool.
1 second. Okay, that's it.
Cool. Okay. Now, is this something you wrote up, or is this something we provided you?
I wrote this up.
Okay, and you use chat.
Actually, crap.
What's that?
I forgot that you guys have contracts for us. I made that contract.
You're like, dang it.
Yep.
Okay,
But-
so more than likely they're not going to love this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It seems a little.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
It's a little too rudimentary. I mean, it's too simple.
Okay. So
Yeah.
on what I use,
Yeah.
it's a lump sum sale. So
Okay, it's cash offer?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to send you a link to our back end, and it will, or Marilyn, can you send that to Cheeseball? Here, I'll just send that over to you.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll make life easier. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm a big fan of doing what you know and then hiring somebody for the other stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll do it.
Yeah, that's why I was coming to ask you. I was like, okay, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere.
No. Yeah, that's why lawyers get paid so much, is because it's not easy. It's easier these days. But also there's a program I use. I mean, when you want to do other contracts, it's called Law Depot. I should reach out to them, see if they have an affiliate link. But Law Depot like drafts contracts for you, and it's it's plug and play. You just type in. It asks you a question, you type it in. And she should have DM'd that to you, so you'll have that. And what that form does is it puts you into our system, keeps you organized within our system, and so then we can send the contract for you, and we'll send it to you, and you can send it off to your realtor, make your life easier.
Thank you so much. I got her DM.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks, Trent. Thank you, Marilyn.
All right. What's up, Saint? What's the latest?
How's it going, Trent? Great to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So, I don't have a problem with getting on the phone and talking. I'm really good there. I think right now I'm at a stage in my career where I got to tighten up the formula, the numbers, and you make it sound so simple. And every time I get on the calculator, I just don't even know what I'm looking at half the time.
No,
So this is what I got.
Brutal. It literally sucks brain cells out of you. That stupid calculator.
So this is the formula that I kind of gotten based off of what you just said with, I believe her name was Cassandra. So it's for owner finance, it's rent divided by unit equals cost divided by the listing price.
Well, you just made that way more difficult. Yeah, let's make life easier.
Okay.
Hang on just 1 second. Okay, let's see. So you're where are you getting that from?
It was just based off of what you were talking about. I didn't know no part. I didn't plug in the particular numbers. I was just going based upon what was said, right? So she was like, "Oh, the rents were this much," and then I said, "Okay," and then go ahead.
So super simple. It's really two things that we're trying to find out. So if you're planning, this is all for seller finance. So is that what you're doing, or are you doing a cash? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
for
seller finance.
The two simple things they're going to want to know, well, three, I guess. Purchase price, right? So you decide what your purchase price. Usually, to start off the negotiation, it's their price, whatever they've asked for. Okay, because usually it's elevated. And people, I mean, everybody knows that it's elevated already. So their purchase price, a down payment is going to be 5% of that. So if it's $100,000, it's going to be $5,000 for the down payment. Super simple. So 5% of the purchase price is the down payment. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just writing it down, so mind my pause.
I saw your eyes going all over the place. I'm like, oh, I hope he's writing.
Yeah, no, I'm writing it down.
I was hoping you didn't just go into a coma. Okay, so 5% of the purchase price is our down payment in seller finance, and then 1/4 of the rents. So if rents are $1,000, we divide it by 4 because 4 is 1/4 of 100. So we make that. So then we know on $1,000 a month, $250 is what we want to pay the seller. Makes sense? Just 25% of the rents.
25% of the rents, and that's going to be what again? I'm sorry.
That's going to be the payment to the seller each month. Okay, so we've got the down payment, which is the big payment that gets us into the deal, and then we're going to have to pay him monthly. And we've decided that 25% of the rents is a great way to go because we get 3/4 of that to put towards expenses and do everything else and get our cash flow.
Okay. And then, that monthly rent includes the PITI?
No. So we pay the PITI. So the principal, insurance, taxes, and principal and interest in taxes and insurance is our obligation to pay out of that 3/4 of the rent. Okay. Let's take it, make it simple.
Where's the 3/4? I thought it was 25% or
correct.
4.
What's left over? Yeah, what's left over after 25%?
That's the 3/4.
Yeah, so 25% to them, 75% to us. That's the good stuff.
75.
So we've got
to us.
See what I'm saying? So you've got rents. Let's just make it a simple one. $4,000 a month are the rents. Okay. We want the payment to go to the seller. We'll give him $1,000. That's 1/4, 25% of the entire rents. Then $3,000 goes towards our PITI. And then hopefully money left over, and that's our cash flow. That's where we're making money.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. It definitely makes sense. And then the interest and balloon will determine our down payment then.
Nope. Our down payment we already did, remember?
What will the interest affect?
Yeah, okay. So what I want you to do is go and have some fun. Grab an amortization calculator on Google. Just type in amortization calculator and play with it. It will ask you for a purchase price and an interest. And so we're doing 0% interest. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Okay. But watch how much money you spend as you put your interest rate in. It's insane. And all that interest is front loaded, meaning we pay the interest more at the beginning of a loan than you do at the end of a loan. And the reason that is because people don't go 30 years on their loan, they go 5 years. And so the banks want all their interest as early as possible. And so that's why we're trying to avoid interest, which is that's what sets all this apart from everything, is the fact that we can get 0% interest on these loans. Because the amount of money saved is insane. And that's why we can offer over asking price for things, because that 0% interest saves us so much money. It's insane. Okay. So, and then we want that time period to be as long as possible. That's why we want a 10-year balloon if we can get it. But that's where we start. They might say, oh, well, we'll go 8 years. That's fine. Anything over 6 years is the cutoff on any of these balloons. But 10 years is delicious.
Okay. So you say 6, and Richard says 5. So what? 5.5?
No.
In the middle,
10.
Or just 6?
10.
Yeah. No, I'm saying for the lowest.
The lowest is 6. Richard will say that too. He says he will stretch it sometimes and go, okay, 5. It's not sellable at 5. Nobody's going to buy it.
Okay. So I just want to reiterate real quick. I got purchase price, which is what we're offering, 5% down payment, 25% or a quarter rent monthly payments, and then that 75 goes to us, and then the balloon would be stretched to 10 years.
Yep, that's the dream.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to get on some calls. Thank you so much, Trent.
Yeah, the whole idea is just to simplify the crap out of this, because, again, I really want you to get on the phone. I don't want you staring at that calculator for more than 3 minutes.
Awesome.
On the phone, because everybody is just sitting there staring at the calculator, and that's not getting anything done.
For sure. I'll be right back. I'll make these 10 calls and tell you how I do.
Excellent. I love it. Okay. And the whole point of this, guys, we're marketing. That's all we're doing. And so marketing means you have to get out and talk to people. And so get out there and talk to as many people as possible. Okay, buddy. Go do your thing. All right, Logan, what's up?
Morning.
Hey, how are you? How's Georgia?
Oh, good. I sent you over an address there.
Okay.
Make this super quick. So it was listed at one point on Zillow. She took it off. I actually found this elsewhere. Had it listed at 65. Offered 45. Hey, offered 45. She was good with that. They have a tenant in place. What's that?
Good. This all sounds really good. I'm just trying to bring it up. Did you send it over to me?
Sent you the address, yes, sir.
Okay, let me grab it real quick. And we're going cash deal on this? Check it out. Okay.
The Zillow is showing a little under what I think it is. They had it listed at 65 in January of
49
this
now.
year. Yeah. And then she had it listed where I found it for 65. Like I said, I offered the 45. They have a tenant in place right now. It's a 3-1. Have a tenant in place right now paying $880. If you go section 8 route on this one, it's $1,400 in that area for the 3-1. I took 80% of that. I think it was like $1,220.
Okay.
So all the numbers I ran, it looked like it made sense. She's ready to send the contract. I was more so just checking with you. This one's,
So our problem selling this one is that anybody that's looking at it is going to go on to Zillow and they're going to be like 49. And I'm getting it for 40. Well, I mean, we'll have to charge 49, because you want an assignment fee. So it's tough, but it cash flows.
Correct.
So It's almost one of those things. If you can, does she have a realtor?
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I found this one on Facebook.
No, then
I
that's
guess
a place to find them.
I some really cool places on there, but she does have a realtor. That's who I've been speaking to. We've been talking the past couple days. I tried to go creative finance route on this one, first off, and they were not open to it.
Okay.
That's where we kind of landed because I started originally offering 30, and we kind of went back and forth, and she agreed to the 45. All the numbers I ran said it was in the green there, but I do understand that being listed on Zillow for the 49 is going to make things a little more difficult.
Yeah, the key in this situation is maybe talk to whoever posted it and say, hey, can you throw it back up to 70 so it doesn't look like, so I can, my wife thinks that I got a better deal than I did, or something to that effect. Because if it's off market and it shows 70,000, then it's sellable, and it's just purely just because we lost you.
Sorry, my computer died.
That was weird. Yeah, because just purely, it's one of those things where investors are just like, oh, I'm not getting a deal.
Okay.
And so that's the only thing. Everything else, cash flows, it's a great deal. You did a great job. It's nice and low. I haven't seen how much does it need repairs.
I'm not 100% on how much repairs it needs. Like I said, it's getting rented. They're living in it right now, so the renter's been there. So I'm, it's in livable condition, and everything I've talked to her about, it's not like the ceilings are falling in or anything. So yeah, it should be good to go. But yeah, let me ask her and see if she was the original agent that had it listed on Zillow, and see if she can get that bumped back up, just to make it a little prettier.
On the fact that you want to make sure you buy this, but if your wife sees that you didn't get that good of a discount, she's not going to be happy.
That's right. Okay.
Whatever.
And is it okay, because she's ready to send contract over as soon as I send her the name of the LLC?
Absolutely.
Does that need to be my LLC, or do I need to put Richard's or yours?
Whatever you want to do. I mean, do you have an LLC?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. But I'll message with Marilyn. I'm still working on those other 3 properties we talked about last Friday.
Perfect.
I'm trying to find a buyer on those too. So she wasn't open to the 30. Yeah. She wasn't open to the 30 to 45 day close. So I'm trying to find somebody that can close quick, because I think there's obviously a deal there as well.
Yeah, I've got somebody. Let me put ask Marilyn for Lexi's contact info. She'll help you out.
Great.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I'll send her a message once I know she's busy during the live, so I'll send her a message once it's over. But awesome. Well, thank you.
That's why she's here. So always do it right away, because otherwise you'll forget. And because I always forget. Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks, Trent. You have a great day.
All right. See ya. All right. Chatty chat. What is going on? You're on mute. There you are. Now you're not. Good to go. What's up, Chad?
What's up?
Same old stuff.
Good. That site that it's similar to PropStream, but
yeah. You're breaking up, just so you know. I don't know if it's my side. Is it me? No,
it actually helps you a little more. I kind of liked it. Trent, you hear me?
No, you're breaking up big time. I think you're in a bad area. You're in a bad area. Sorry about that. I'm going to put you back down in the audience. If you get to a better south, can you hear me now?
You hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Nope, it's terrible. It is no bueno. Hey guys, 8% interest is not too high for a down payment, just so you know. 10% is where we can be. I just always like to start at 5%, just to be. So that's fine. 8% is fine. Hey, Chad, I'm gonna put you back in the audience, and then once your cell
Right.
gets,
So that side I got put onto.
yep, it's impossible to hear you, buddy. I'm so sorry. You're breaking up so much. Okay. Well, I'll put you back in the audience, and then we're gonna go Joseph. What's going on, Joseph?
How should I go about analyzing a portfolio? It's 4 properties. Should I do it individually?
Yeah, do it individually and then lump them all together.
Okay, like total price. Okay, I have this
Yeah,
lead where it's listed.
for
It's
a volume discount at that point. So you want to get all the you want to see how much they're worth individually, and then figure out some kind of a volume discount. Hey, Michael, can you mute your mic, please?
Sure.
Thanks, bro.
Sir.
I have a lead, a 6 unit that's listed for 980, and I offered cash of 775, and they accepted it. And I
Great.
want to know if I should pursue it because it's 1 in Chicago, but 2, yeah, the 775 I offer were just based off a DSCR loan. Like I ran it with a 20% down, 7% interest rate, and a 12% return, and that gave me it gave me a $775,000 offer. Offered that and they accepted it. I want to
Okay,
know
12%
what
return is not sellable. Like again, we have to be above 20 for it to really be sellable. But I mean, definitely you
Okay.
could throw the buy box, see what they say. But it's Illinois as well, so it's gonna, you got 2 strikes against you.
Okay. So how would I? So if I offer 775 on cash and then I offer seller financing and the agent comes back like, hey, seller financing, we're not interested, but the cash that's 775, can you send us a contract on? What should I say to them?
Well, does it cash flow at 775? I mean, does it work for you? Because it doesn't seem like, again, 12 to 14% is not going to sell very easily unless it's, I mean, if it's pristine, they've got 100% of the rents going and they've got big leases on all the rents. I mean, that will help.
So 6 units in Chicago, all Section 8 tenants, long-term tenants.
They're all long-term tenants and they have leases on all those?
Yeah, Section 8.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, that might work. But again, it's Illinois. So Illinois is a no-go.
But I mean, I could sign for the contract, do the same process, and then kind of see if Richard's team can sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They won't.
All right. So all right.
It's Illinois. I don't know why you're looking
Huh?
in Illinois. You know better. I mean, Illinois is a no-go.
Because on the frequently asked questions, it says you can do 1 deal a month. So I figured there's some like creative strategy or ways around these like regulations that are.
Can, but Richard won't be able to help you because then he can't. I'm sure he's already done his 1 deal for the year. It's not 1 deal a month. It's 1 deal a year.
I mean, 1 deal a year. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey, I'll send a contract with my LLC, sign for it, tell them the whole thing about submitting. Okay, so I'll sign on behalf, and then I'll just say, hey, Richard, can you find a buyer for this?
Good.
Okay, next one. So pushback I got on a mortgage takeover was if we miss 2 payments, you get the property right back. They said, well, what if there's a tenant in place that hasn't been paying and they have to go through the eviction process? They don't want to do that. I don't want to hear your thoughts on that objection.
They're right completely, but usually a tenant wants to stay. They would want a tenant to stay. I don't know why you would want to evict a tenant that's paying for the property. The lease
No, just in case it would.
The lease will transfer.
Just in case we miss payments.
Right, the lease will transfer back to them. Like they get the tenant as well.
And then so the agent was like, "What if it's a non-paying tenant though? So the tenant isn't paying you. So you're gonna miss 2 payments, and I get back the property with the headache tenant." Is what the objection was.
Absolutely, what will happen for sure. Also, a plane could crash into the house and kill their entire family before they're visiting the house. Also, there could be a plague. And again, our whole idea is we want to keep a tenant in there that's excellent. We want to pay it. We want to. I mean, our intentions are this is our home. We want to treat it like it's our home, and we're going to do everything we can. So, your hypotheticals are kind of. I mean, just tell them that's a hypothetical, and it's not going to happen. And if they're not comfortable with it, then they shouldn't do it. But again, there's a million things. Tiger could come in and break down the door and eat everybody. Probably not going to happen.
Okay.
I can give you hypotheticals.
Rural multifamily, is that worth pursuing?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, rural multifamily.
There's
Okay,
a 12-year-old
and
then that did a ton of rural stuff. He's sold a ton of them. I have no problem with rural. I don't know why. I mean, I understand that your odds aren't as good, but heck, I mean, people are living there. And there's a million factors. Like if it's rural, but it's next to a factory that employs 10,000 people. Okay, now you've got people that need a place to live, and they're right next door to their job.
okay, and then lastly, when is it not okay to, I guess, write up an offer? Like when we're talking to a realtor, like, hey, do you think they're open to seller financing? Yeah, they are, but here are the ridiculous terms. Do you care to still submit an offer on that?
Do you want those
30%
terms?
down, 8% interest rate.
Do you want those terms?
No.
Then no. Why would
don't
you
even counter or anything like that?
Why would you do an offer if that's their terms? You've
Okay,
given them
and then
yours.
when I get in,
Ridiculous. Then move on. Again, I want you on the phone. Like I don't want you trying to make a shoe fit that doesn't fit. Be like, cool, here's my offer, and move on. Say, and this offer doesn't expire. Make it nice and low. Tell them when they're ready. We'll see in 3 months when you haven't sold the place.
So that's what I was thinking. It's just time consuming on my part when like I'm talking to an agent, rapport. Why are they interested in selling? Hey,
that's this business, bro. I mean, everything's time consuming. That building those relationships, all that stuff's time consuming. But if somebody comes to you with a ridiculous counter offer, you just say, okay, my offer stands. Have a great day. And you move on.
So see how you said that my offer stands. So I should make an offer on everything, or that's what I'm saying. Should I make an offer on every single phone call I have?
Not every single phone call. Second phone calls, you want to find out the motivation, right? And you want to find something that you could make work. You make that offer.
They're just doing the market. They're just seeing what they can get.
Move on. Your ultimate answer always is move on. That's my answer. If it's something that's going to be a pain in the butt, I don't deal with it. My entire life has been the path of least resistance. I've never done anything that I'm like, oh, I'm going to push through. I'll take the path of least resistance and be successful.
Okay. And then what CRM are you using?
I use a bunch. I use a CRM that's my girls all use. So they're my CRM, all my VAs. Like you've got a whole team, right? So your team should be doing all that. Yeah.
No, it's because so I use Podio for the off market, but the on market I've been trying to get a hold of Yvonne. So I've been speaking with Marilyn, trying to get a hold of Yvonne. Because it's been like 2 months and I still don't have a CRM for this process.
Then let us go. Like if you're not responding, there's a reason. So just go with somebody else. I thought you had your own team.
I paid her though. That's the issue.
You paid Yvonne for what?
CRM setup on SalesMate.
Okay, and she never did it?
I don't know about never did it, but it's been 2 months and I still don't have a rendered or delivered product.
Hold on, I'm texting her right now. Joseph. I guarantee there's a reason. So let's see what it is. And you already paid her too. That's going to be problems. I'm going to get on her for that. That's not okay.
Yeah, so I paid her on March 9th. It is May 6th, and I have nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to reiterate it to me. I heard you. So how much did you pay her?
It's $50 retainer and then $50 when completed.
So you paid her $50 already, and then it was going to be $50 when she completes it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on just 1 second. Okay, we'll see what she says, and I will personally guarantee that I'll get you back your $50, and then you can just move on. So if you DM me your Venmo, and I'll pay you the $50 if she hasn't done it. And I'm checking with her right now, so we'll see what she says. Okay. Oh, you froze. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to throw you into the audience. All right. Who wants to go? Oh, hey, 77. What's up?
What's going on? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. I got so pretty much I have a seller. They want to move forward with a trust acquisition, but they want to see they wanted to see a copy of the trust. I was able to get that from Mora, and I'm just looking through it. The one thing I know they're gonna ask me for that I can't find is the part that pretty much the deed in lieu of foreclosure part of the deal. I see where it explains our responsibilities for payments and repairs, tenants, all that good stuff, but I don't see the deed in lieu of foreclosure.
So the deed in lieu of foreclosure happens on the bank side, and so what's happening that we're doing this trust to avoid that process from happening. So everybody should have everything they own in a trust, and so these transactions happen thousands of times a day. You have a property, you put it into a trust, and so the bank, you contact the bank and say, my trust now owns this. Then you're good to go. They're like, oh, okay. There's no need to foreclose because it's just going into a trust. And that's the whole point of the trust. So there's no real language. We can add language however they want it to understand it better, but that's the whole reason. And so we're doing it to avoid the due on sale clause with the bank.
Right. Okay.
Because it's still owned by it's still owned by the people. The seller still owns 10% of the trust. But the trust is now responsible for making the payments.
Right. Okay. And so there is no language about us missing 2 payments and they get the control of the trust. Is there? Don't need anything for that.
Yeah, I mean, it should. Did you not see it in there?
Well, yeah, I must have phrased my question wrong. That's more so what I was referring to. I must have just had the wrong idea.
Let me see.
I also sent you an email of the exact copy that I'm looking at too, in case that might be helpful.
Yeah, let me see. I'm looking at the one I just closed, so I'm just double checking it real quick.
Got it.
The beauty of contracts is we can add anything we want at any time, and so if it needs that language, we're more than happy to write it up and put it in. And it's just another piece of it. I'm trying to remember. I think it's in the waiver and hold harmless part of it. Yeah, it's a lot of words.
It's a lot.
Okay. So if you throw it through chat, this is what my cheat is, and ask it, hey, is there anything that says what the protection is for the seller if payments are missed? Right. It will zone in on it right away for you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then you don't have a moron that's trying to read it and.
Okay.
It stinks because
if I don't have it, I can just add it in somewhere.
Just add it, yeah. So you'll see in the contract, there's, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. You just add 7. 8.
One more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the beauty with any contract. The point of a contract is to get clarity on everything. And so those contracts they don't have to be just that. You can add any kind of addendum you want.
Okay. Awesome. I'll do that. And then my last question, I think I'd asked you about this a few weeks back, but
Hopefully
I
I
didn't take
answered
notes because I figured I'd be able to go back and watch your past lives. You know what I mean? Haven't been able to do that now, but essentially my thing, I do have one deal where they have like it's a good house, 2-story, 4-2, Kyle, Texas, right outside of Austin. It's pretty much an Austin suburb. The thing about it, its rate is like a 6.7, so I don't even know if it's worth it. They agreed to 2.95% down payment, so it's almost nothing. It's
Yeah.
agent commission, and then that agent has 2%, seller keeps the rest. That's over it or whatever, almost
Right.
at 1%. Zillow's rent says about 1,800. Monthly payment is just over 2,000. It's like 2,035, something like that. My
Wait, the
question for
rent?
you, is that worth my time?
No, because you're losing money.
Right. Okay.
A lot of money.
Okay, because I've heard sometimes Richard say that maybe a retail buyer who can't qualify or something like that would want it.
So that happens, and that's like the ones that I bought. That's what I do. My mortgage is $3,000, and they pay $2,500 for rents. So I'm losing $500 every month. But it's an equity play because the one that I bought with Richard was they had $100,000 in equity, and it's turnkey, and it's beautiful, and it's a perfect house. I don't have to worry about any repairs or anything. But also I've done another one where the foundation was destroyed and it needs about $10,000 in foundation work, but it's still a beautiful house and it's just got cracks. And so I'm like, I took over his mortgage. And again, I've got to get renters into it, but it's one of those things where it doesn't really cash flow, but it's incrementally going up each year for sure, probably about 5%.
Okay. Got it.
So that everybody kind of leans on it. It's funny because Richard will say, get super low deals, but everybody hears the wait, it doesn't cash flow. You can still buy it. What the heck? So, but it's in very, very like certain circumstances. It's not something you want to go after all the time for sure.
Right. Okay. So even though this one has no repairs and it's good condition, good home, just move on from it.
Well, I think send me the address. I'll take a look at it, but I think you're paying way too much. It's seller finance though. You get to decide what the down payment is. I mean, what the payments are and everything, because you got a great payment. So let's take a look at it, because I think your argument's going to be to the seller that it doesn't cash flow. And so you're an investor and you don't buy things that don't cash flow. There's no reason to invest in something, and no other investor will. Is it a duplex?
No, single family.
Single family. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
There you go. Just the end it.
Got it. How'd you get them down so low on the down payment?
Honestly, that's pretty much my offer for everybody. I don't even care about your rate. I'm trying to make money. Obviously I try to be helpful, and I'll do what I have to do to be competitive. But a lot of these guys that I find, they're like, oh, all the subject to offers are trash. They have no protection, blah, blah, blah. And I put myself in a position where it's more so all of the protection I'm offering from the trust that they're willing to take less than some of the sub 2 offers they got, where they're getting paid more. It's really crazy. So I just leverage that. Just leverage stuff like deed in lieu of foreclosure, all that good stuff. Protection from due on sale, things like that.
Just make sure you're using deed in lieu of foreclosure correctly. That's something that
I know. I need to figure that out.
Because I think you're a little bit off on it.
Yeah.
And somebody that knows what they're talking about is going to bury you.
Right.
So here's the thing. I always keep everything super simple. If I don't 100% know a term, I don't bring it up. my whole career, I worked with athletes. I worked with ESPN. We would do interviews, and they would love to use huge words that did not mean anything close to what they were talking about. And so it almost adds them a little bit, and it's kind of funny. So I'm really hypersensitive to that. Like, so be careful about like trying to get credibility using words that you're not 100%.
Right. So what would you call exactly just an agreement for, hey, if we miss 2 payments, you get the trust, you get control of the trust. What would we call that? Is there a phrase for that, or you just explain it? There's no phrase for it.
Just explain it. Yeah, there's no real
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, and I say 3 months. Like, give us an extra month, why not? I mean, you never know. It's like, I had a great example was I thought my payment was going to the seller monthly or to the bank monthly. And when I set up my bank account to do auto withdrawals, it wasn't doing it. And I was dumb enough that I didn't look into it. I would have lost everything because it was 2 months. And I'm like, oh crap.
Wow.
It was scary. Yeah, no, that one was like, oh shoot, because that was a big down payment. Okay, so these guys have an open loan, and the loan is at 6.61% with the 1900. Yeah, run away from this. There's nothing here.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
That was easy. Yeah. Once you get in that percentage rate, it's like you can get that. So the beauty of the low percentage rate, and what I do, and I was explaining it earlier, is I'm moving into lease to buy, lease to own situations where that percentage rate difference is where I make my money. Because if I've got a 2.5% interest rate and I can charge somebody 9% because they can't qualify for a loan, that margin is in that 7%. That's the difference, you know. So
got it.
That's where you want. That's why you want to keep those interest rates really low, because that's what buyers will buy. They won't buy this.
Right. Okay. Good to know. I appreciate it.
You're being aggressive is excellent. I mean, that's really what I want from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's so worried about the seller and like, oh, I feel bad, but I wish everybody could get through their mind, well, this is a seller who has defaulted or doesn't care about paying, you know, his bills, and, you know, he did something, you know, let's make him into more of a villain than somebody that's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's
right.
Too bad.
Right. And the way I look at it, all of their traditional offers, they're going to lose 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 at closing. They can't even accept that. So what are we going to do? Slow burn into foreclosure or get this done? It's a big favor. I might offer $2,000 to your pocket, but I'll tell you the value of the offer is the $22,000 you're not going to spend from a traditional offer. So you know, I'm not harming them by any means. And I know you don't think so. I'm just
you're finding you're finding, I mean, it's finding their motivation. And again, our motivation is always money in our head, but their motivation might be completely different. Like the one I just did with Richard, her motivation was she moved out of town. She got a 10 times better job that paid 10 times more than she didn't care about the money because she's killing it. She's good. She cared about the headache of having tenants and doing all the stuff. And like, she, you know, had a solar loan and she had this and that, and she didn't want to deal with it. Yeah. Like, awesome, I'll deal with it all day long. No problem.
Got it. So that makes sense. And I appreciate that. Sometimes like the feedback on that deal, you know, I have plenty of other ones with lower rates, 4% or less. So I'm definitely targeting those. Those are the majority. This is one where an agent was like, hey, what can you do with this? And I don't know. How do you differentiate? Because, you know, you said sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. How do you just quickly know, hey, this is a high rate that might work, this is a high rate that just won't? How do you, what's the...
Okay, so this one is market rate, 6% plus, almost 7%. But when we were talking about turnkey and beautiful and get in it for the equity play, if this place rents out for, you know, $25,000 to $3,000 a month, then we're pretty good. But we don't want to deal with that interest rate. Because it's a nice house, the backyard needs to be taken care of. And I always use the backyard and the front yard as that's a $40,000. Hey, Tanner, can you turn off your mic?
Oh, sorry.
No worries. I always use the back because that's a big ticket item, a backyard. And the best part of, if you're a homeowner, you know you hate your backyard. And so it's not offensive. They're like, oh yeah, I know. I'm so sick of that backyard. It sucks. So, but this one's nice. I mean, it's got everything's clean. There's no drywall needs or anything. You know, the roof's not falling in. But the backyard you can beat up all day long, which is great. But yeah. So I just am saying that this isn't sellable.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Right.
Could you make it work? Could you buy it yourself? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
why?
Right.
There's so many better deals out there.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's
Awesome.
cool
I
that you
appreciate
have realtors that are giving you things. That's a hurdle that I mean, that's gold. Once they're like, oh, hey, we can trust him. Let's send him something. So
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
absolutely. Take it easy.
You too.
Hang on 2 seconds. Okay, Yvonne. Hey, Joseph, pop back up. Yvonne said that it's done and that she's just waiting for you to pay her. So that's all that. So you probably just failed to communicate back to her. So she's got it done. If you want to, here, I'll bring you up.
Yeah, so where we last left off, she said, hey, I need this approved in this, and then I'll go ahead and show you the overview and how the system works.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, just send her the remainder of what you owe her, and she will get on a phone call with you and teach you how.
And then, Trent, how do you submit cash deals? That the Chicago deal I mentioned, is that a cash deal even though it's a DSCR loan? It's a 20% return, by the way.
I don't know what you just said. Sorry.
Sorry, we were just, okay, my bad. We were discussing a 6-unit in Chicago. I said I'll sign for it so Richard can sell it. Is it submitted as a cash deal?
Yeah, that's because you made a cash offer, correct? Like you offered a cash
With DSCR, with DSCR terms.
Yeah, that's a DSCR is just a loan. It's considered cash because you're getting a loan. So that, yeah, you're totally good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Okay. What's up, Tanner? Oh, and I muted you. Hold on. Oh no, you muted you. Okay.
Yeah, I
What's
muted.
going on?
You hear me now?
Now I do. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
So I just sent you an address in your DM there. I made an offer last week on a property to a realtor, and they told me no, but she told me that I should check out this property as they are interested in seller finance.
Yes.
So
that's awesome. I love that.
Yes.
Guys, everybody in the audience, that's why we call. Okay, so what happened? Tell me what the
So I just want to make sure that she said the biggest thing they're concerned about is the down payment. And I was listening into some of the other live streams. Thomas mentioned something. I don't know if the numbers are exact. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He mentioned something that deal that Richard did, that the 102 assignment fee. He said that was like a $2 million property, and they offered 300 to 400 for the down payment. And then I also saw another video that Richard had that was 2.7 mil. They offered 5.5 100,000 on the down pament. I just want to make sure that I do the right down payment here. So I wanted to run the numbers with you quick.
Okay, let's do it. This place is cool too. Let me look inside. I mean, it looks pretty turnkey. How many units?
I believe it's 10. Hold on,
10 units.
Yeah, it's on my phone. I'll have to pull it up here. I don't know if you'll see me or not. Maybe it's 8. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, it says 10 beds, 8 baths. So I'm going to call it 8.
Yeah.
Because at least, you'd have to have a bathroom at least every one of them. How's that sound?
I find it here.
There might be two ones, and then the rest are 1 ones. Cool place though.
Yeah.
And I just bought a house there.
Sorry, it's not.
It's weird. I don't see their AC, but it looks like there's an ADU, an alternate or an additional.
Yeah, I see some of them have window ACs from the pictures.
Yeah, so. But again, people love this look and it's quaint and all that stuff. It doesn't look like it needs massive repairs. The cabinets might need some. But
Yeah.
you're okay. So do you know what rents are?
Yeah.
So we attack this just like we do anything else. So what are rents?
So right now they're doing $7,680 in rents. They're a bit below, and two of the units are vacant, but market is 12,000.
Okay, so we have to go on the 7,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna make it 7,500 to make it easier math. Okay, and they're not as interested in the monthly. Is that correct?
What do you mean by that?
You said the down
yeah,
payment.
yeah. They're focused on the down payment.
So what I would offer them monthly is 1,500, and explain to them that this place does not cash flow, and so we've got to have it that at 1,500, and then I would do 5% to start. Again, this isn't where we end.
Okay. The only problem I've run into because before when I was sending offers, I was doing 5 to 7%, and people weren't even countering me. They weren't even replying. They would just go silent, and then I'd follow up and they'd say, "Yeah, we're not interested. We have better offers." So that's my only worry with doing the 5% as the down payment.
I want you to be talking to these people. I don't want you to just send an email. Okay, are you talking?
Yeah. I try to implement Richard's checkmate pitch. It works sometimes, it sometimes doesn't. But I'll explain that qualification process, my operating monthly payment, and the rent that we're bringing in. They won't work for me. Can't get qualified. And then I explain I can't find a lender that's going to get me below 6%. So then we're down to two options. I either lowball you with a cash offer, or if you're open to it, seller finance. It's not my first option. Kind of just where we've gotten to. It's not just me that can't get qualified. Everyone can't get qualified. The interest rates are up more than 20 have in the past 20 years.
Okay.
I am having.
Here's what I do in these situations. I go, hey, I'm going to give you our standard deal, and this is the offer that we have, a standard offer that we do as our first offer. And so tell me if this works. It's the same thing I used to do. I do productions, and sometimes people would need us to work like just a day instead of a full run of something. And they'd ask me like, well, how much is it? And I'm like, well, when I do work for Frito-Lay or Pepsi, this is what I charge. And so I give them the price I charge, and then I let them decide. And so we're kind of doing the same thing in reverse, where we say, hey, I know this is going to be offensive because your place is super awesome, and the down payment was so important. What we usually, and this is our standard, is I would offer 60,000 as your down payment. And as long as you're falling on the sword, so they don't have anything to argue about. They can't go, well, what are you doing? I already explained it. Now you see why I'm doing it. What are you looking for? And you'll be surprised, because you might be ready to come in 400,000 or whatever, and they might go, we need at least double that. And you're like, that's a win. Okay, perfect. Okay. I want you to learn that negotiation tactic, because it's really important to find out what people need, and that motivation and making those phone calls. And I hammered home motivation. That's all that matters. Let them decide what they want as a down payment. That's the most important thing to them. Yeah. So you can keep that. That monthly payment low. Yeah. Keep in mind, down payment is just money that you're going to be spending anyhow down the road. Yeah. You're just spending money, and it's going into your bank, which is awesome. Like, that's fine. You're good, because you're going to get that back. It's not going away. So be confident in offering that low amount, and let them counter, and kind of beg them for a counter. Say, I know this sucks. It's our policy. That's what we offer when we start. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, this is cool. I mean, if it's, I really like the way it looks, and it's a good looking place. Yeah. So this is one that, you definitely want to, do what you can for it. Okay. Yeah. I'll call her back. I was just talking to her before I jumped on here with you, and I just wanted to clarify. I want to hear. Let's call her live. Go into and turn off your noise suppression. Are you on your phone or no?
I'm on my phone right now. I don't have a camera, so
Dang it. Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. I'm gonna leave you on stage though. Turn off your mic, and then I want to hear how it goes.
Okay,
Right?
I'll join back on my computer, and then I'll call on the phone, and then I'll join back on
good.
the phone. I'm done.
Yeah,
And
let's
I'll-
do that. I'd love to hear it. If you want to join on your computer, and then we'll bring you right back up.
Yeah, you just won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to hear it, I believe.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, do that.
Okay, we'll hang tight. I'll go to somebody else, and then you just wave when you're ready. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Nico, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
You're very dark. You've got a very like. I feel like you're in a.
I'm in South Africa. It's nighttime, yeah. So yeah.
Oh.
But that property I sent you last night. Just get it, yeah. Please
Let me check it out.
It's that one. So they're asking what's the trust? What's protecting them in it?
What's protecting them in a trust?
Yeah, well, when we put it into the trust, if we miss 2 payments
Yeah,
or whatever.
a trust. I don't know if you have that in South Africa, but trusts are like the greatest thing that you can ever have in America because, and I have everything in my trust. And the reason is if tomorrow a tiger eats my face and kills me, I'm covered. My stuff goes right to my kids. It's already predetermined where all my stuff goes. And so the use of a trust in this situation is we're putting it into a trust. Therefore, the owner can still be a participant in the trust. They don't get any benefits from it. They're just bringing the mortgage. And so it allows them to stay a participant in the transaction. And so that's the whole reason. And so the bank's not going to care because everybody puts everything in a trust. It's totally normal. And so as long as the payments keep getting made, then the mortgage stays in place. And it's protected by the Garn-St. Germain Act as well. And so you're kind of double protected.
Okay, and then if we, okay, I'm going to ask it again. But if we miss payments, what happens to them? Like if
they get everything back. So it's awesome. I mean, they win the lottery basically. So they get the down payment that we paid them, anything that we paid for upgrades on the house, they get the entire thing back. It's not going to happen very often because we don't want to lose our investment. So the buyers are not interested in missing payments. And so again, I extended to 3 months. I tried to change everything to 3 months. If we miss payments for 3 months, then there's an issue. Standard they're saying is 2 months, but I like 3 months.
Okay, so that's perfect. Thank you. And then the loan is a VA. Is there anything wrong with that?
Nothing really wrong. It's the problem with VA loans is they lose their entitlement. And so sometimes they can't get into another house. But my answer to that for them is, hey, tell us where you want to live. We've got, 11,000 students searching for houses every day. I'll put it in and say, hey, I've got a retail buyer that wants a house in, San Antonio, and they want it to be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath or whatever. They're willing to pay this much. So then we can go search for it and try to find them. So their entitlement doesn't matter as much because we're going to get them into a better loan than they already have.
Okay, and I suppose we can also sell a creative to them, or
absolutely, yeah, we can sell creative, or we can get them into a creative deal where we get them into a seller finance deal that works out for them. Okay. Retail buyers are 10 times easier to get a place for. If I had a list of 1 million retail buyers, I'd be dialed because that is easy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Bo. See you.
Sure.
All right, later. All right, let's see. Where did he go? Who was making the call? Oh, geez, am I a moron?
Hello.
What's up? How you doing?
How are you doing? How's everything? I just had a quick couple questions because I started the course a week or two ago, and I've pretty much gone through all the information from Richard, and I'm kind of trying to get deals, but the requirements in Buy Box Cartel aren't really matching the deal checkers at times. So I'm not
Yeah.
too sure how to.
So buy box
Like-
gives you the highest possible like offer. So try to go way lower on buy box's offers. And what I do, I make it super simple. So if you want a criteria that will help you, cash offers, I just do 50% of what they're asking for, because I feel like they always over ask, but at 50%, it's usually a pretty good deal for us. So that one, that's simple. If you want to do something seller finance, again, I keep it simple. I give them 5% as a down payment on their asking price. I always start with their asking price because you can go up. And then I go 25% of rents is what I will pay them per month. Okay. So the rents are $4,000. They get their payments $1,000. That way we retain $3,000. 0% interest, 10 years. That's it. So it's kind of simple. Yeah, because the numbers get crazy in the in buy box and when you do the calculator. And I reiterate it too much, but I want you guys on the phone. I don't want you doing numbers.
Yeah, but then, for example, for Phoenix, maybe the requirements are like 3-bed, 2 baths, like 10% down payment. So it kind of varies between the states and the cities.
You're talking about the buy boxes, right?
Yeah,
So
the buy
you're
box and then the deal checkers. Yeah.
So the buy boxes are, I mean, that's a way to go. It's a cash deal usually. And so my suggestion is now start looking anywhere you want. Okay. But make sure the purchase price, that the rents are 10% of the, or I'm sorry. Why did I? Yeah. 1%, that the rents are 1% of the purchase price. So search for places that are $200,000 and the rents are $2,000 or more. Like if they're more, then like kill yourself to get that deal. Those are excellent.
And it doesn't matter like that. And it doesn't matter the city or the state. No?
Go anywhere you want. Start in like Tennessee. Tennessee is a great state for that kind of stuff. And what will happen, and you'll see as you start searching for things, you're going to start noticing that you find little pockets of areas that are really good rents. And so then zone in on that area and then call everything in that area that has high rents. Okay. So that's the search. If you can find 1% of rents and you find that in a concentrated area, just exhaust that area. Just go after everything.
And then not obviously contacting the investors, but when you have a deal ready and then you have like some type of agreement with a real estate company, then how do you contact like a potential investor through the buy box cartel?
Through buy box, it will. Yeah, you can put all your contracts through buy box, and they'll look for the investor for you. Also, you can go on Facebook for sure.
In Facebook, like groups that have like real estate investors or.
Yeah, just search Memphis, Tennessee investors, and in Facebook, and there'll be a group for it. There's a group for every single city.
Okay.
And it's kind of an easier way of doing things.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Sounds pretty good. Yeah. I just had that question because I was like a couple of days just trying to get that information, because obviously in Tennessee, maybe they were like 3 beds and 2 baths and then 10% down payment. And maybe for another city and state, it was a bit different. And then when you added that kind of address, then the deal checkers wasn't really in convergence with like the other details of that specific city and state. So I don't know.
I try to keep it simple. And I just want you on the phone. So 1% of the purchase price is the rents. Go after those.
Okay, 1% of purchase price. Okay, perfect. That's my question up to now. Now go find some deals. Thank you very much, Trent.
Take care.
Have a good one.
All right. Let's see. Who's got a camera? Anybody got a camera? Hey guys, and I go off at 10 o'clock today, just so you know, and Sharon will be in here right after me. I'm gonna actually switch over. I got like the Discord only let me have 1,000 friends, and so it made me do my own. It asked me to do my own server, so I'll probably keep on going live over there. So it's the same name and everything, but it's just I don't know how it all works. A different server of some sort. but I'll go live probably till noon over there after this one. Okay, so Alon, let me unmute you. There you go. What's up?
Hey, Trent, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what are you finding?
Excellent. Couple quick questions. Do the seller finance deals, does the subject property need to be turnkey?
Does the subject property have to be turnkey? What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
like, I mean, if someone's willing to do sellerify and, you know, it's
I
for,
like turnkey, but a lot of people make a lot of money on ones that are hammered. So it doesn't have to be turnkey, but I really like it to be.
because if it's not turnkey, you got to look at it and say, okay, well, they're going to have to put some money to rehab it, and obviously that's going to be time where you're not going to be able to command any rent.
Correct. That's why I hate them. If the only time I would do a turnkey anything is if it was right next door, because I want to be a part of the process from beginning to end. I want to be on the contractors. I want to make sure everybody's there. I want to, so
right.
If you want a simpler life, I would go turnkey all day long.
Yeah. Okay. And unrelated question: when you're calling agents, 90% of them don't answer their phone, obviously,
Okay.
which is
Nope. So the first 2 times you call a new number, believe it or not, AT&T and Verizon, those guys, they block your number. It almost never rings to the person that doesn't have your name or number in their contacts.
really.
So I call 4 times.
You mean
And
consecutively?
Heck yeah, hammer them.
Wow.
I mean, you want to talk to them, you want to buy their house if it's worth it. I hammer the phones. I am no joke. I also get people that answer like, "What? What do you want?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm calling about that Hollywood Avenue property." And they're like, "Why'd you call me so many times?" I'm like, "Oh, I was just trying to get a hold of you." Well, that's no way to get a hold of somebody. I'm like, "Well, we're talking, so I guess it is."
Yeah,
and so
I guess it is.
If you're polite about it and you joke around about it, then it kind of turns into some rapport that you get. So a lot of people are shy about doing it. I don't care. I've got my biggest problem in life is I don't care. Nobody's going to offend me. Nobody's going to hurt my feelings. I mean, we're just trying to get something done. So, but yeah, we found that the guys at Investor Lift actually were the ones that said, like, hey, make sure you call 4 times because it's it's the phone companies are blocking you, so there's no spam.
You're saying literally their phone won't even ring.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because they might have spam. They might have, as a realtor, they really shouldn't, because I don't think there's that many people that should, they should probably want to listen to whoever's calling them. But yeah, a lot of them have spam blockers.
And would you not, if you can't get through to them, would you follow it up with a text or just move on?
Yeah, you can follow them up with a text saying, "Hey, I'm looking at this property. Give me a call back. I've got something to tell you." I always throw something in that makes them want to call me back. Like I got something to tell you. That's what I always.
Yeah.
That's the
curiosity.
Yeah, you just got to pique their interest at some point.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, that's it for me. Appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Good seeing you.
You too.
All right, Michael Hart, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. So I'm trying to get caught up on the multifamily guidelines. I'm looking at the offer oven calculator, but I feel like people have worked on much bigger deals. I know in the calculator it says values $500,000 or less, but aren't there people working on much bigger deals?
Absolutely. I keep it simple. I don't know if you've listened to me, but I hate the calculators, and it's just because I'm dumb. And so when I get in those, I don't know what to put where and how to put it and when it's, when to hit enter or whatever. So everything I do is based on the 1% rule. And so even big properties, we just had that one, it was $1 million. It rented for $7,500, but they said the potential rents were like $13,000. And so at $1 million, it beats the 1% rule. And so if at $1 million, it rents for $10,000 a month, that's a phone call I want to make. And I want to talk to them and figure out what's going on. So base it on that. I don't want you to do your over calculate. I want you to go and make phone calls. So 1%, make a phone call. It's that simple.
So I reached out to a realtor yesterday in Charleston, and it was already under contract, but she sent me 12 properties. I'm kind of trying to sort of spot check. These. I'm fine on the phone. I talk to people all day long, but it doesn't look like it doesn't look like it cash flows on one of these.
Okay, which is good. So we don't mind when it doesn't cash flow. That's Richard's checkmate pitch. And so then we poo-poo their property. We're like, hey, your property is never going to sell to anybody ever. The only way it's going to work is through seller financing. And so that's great. And also sometimes you can, if you train ChatGTP, you can take a portfolio and put the entire thing into chat and say, hey, break this down for me. And it'll break down all the properties at once. And so you don't have to do them singularly. And you can put in your criteria, like how do I make an offer at 1%, if rents are 1% of the purchase price or whatever you want to. But chat helps a ton.
Okay, so like in this one example, I've got this guy in Atlanta. It's going for $439. I can share my screen if it helps, but he just keeps coming back with like a huge down payment. So he wants $100,000 down payment, which is obviously, what's the max down payment that you've done on like a seller finance deal?
I'm horrible. I tend to stay at 5%, but it's all based on like in fact the one that he's calling on, and I think we lost him, but it's $1 million property. They wanted a big down payment. And I'm okay with it because it's money. The down payment's still money that you're gonna be seeing at the end of the balloon, because when you own the property outright, that down payment is money you're not gonna have to pay at the very end when you're paying off the entire thing. So it's kind of money in the bank in a way. So it's kind of your personal threshold, but also most investors don't want to pay more than 10%. They definitely don't want to pay 20 because they can get that anywhere with just a regular loan. So that's kind of the threshold. I like to stay 5% to start. I'll go to 10%, but I always want to keep it kind of low.
Okay, and then the furthest amortization you've gone out, I've seen like 40. I don't know if I've seen 50.
Here's the deal with amortization in my mind. It's another calculation, and I want to stick a fork in my eye because all it is. And when I decide what my monthly payment is, I just base it on the rents. So the rent is $4,000 a month. I'm going to pay them 1/4 of that, 25%. So I divide it by 4 and I say, here's your $1,000 a month payment. I don't care what it amortizes at. I don't care that that's 42.345 months. It doesn't matter to me. It's not something that I care about at all. That's used in traditional lending to show people what their monthly payments are and how they came up with it. And so I'm not doing that. I came up with my monthly payment because that's what I'm willing to pay.
So you always just offer 25% of the payments to the owner until it's paid off at the balloon.
Yeah, and I try to get a 10-year balloon. I'm super, I really am aggressive on everything because I've tried easily 2,600 deals, and trying to get buyers for them is next to impossible unless they're an amazing deal. And so I've throttled way back and said, okay, I'm only going to submit amazing deals. I'm not going to deal with anything else.
Yeah, I'm just trying to know my outer threshold. So that's super helpful. So no more than 10 balloon.
No more. Because you want to sell it. And 20% cash on cash is my bottom. Everybody else's is like 12. I want it to be 30, 40. I want a huge cash on cash. My biggest problem with that is I don't sell those. I end up buying them because they're such good deals. That's cool. It's easier. It's so much easier.
Okay, cool. That's super helpful. I'm trying to think if I had any other. All right, so that kind of answers a lot of my questions. Yeah, cool. I've got this other Charleston deal. It's like 3.5 million, but the monthly rental was only like 11,000, and it's just I think you actually right. Yeah, so, it's not.
But in that situation, it's brutal. But if you can get them on seller finance, and you take it down, and you're paying them $3,000 a month, well, that certainly cash flows. You know what I'm saying? Again, my 1% rule is just for making that phone call. Like, okay, that's one to call on. Once you get into the deal and you figure out what their motivation is, then you can start messing with everything. It doesn't, that is just to get you on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that where I'm running to, there's definitely cash flow. Like if the monthly rental is 11,000 and the calculator saying around 6,900, well, even like 40-year amortization, but the cash on cash return is still negative 1%. So
with what numbers? Tell me the numbers again.
Actually, I can show it to you if you
Well,
want me to
just tell me. I can do it really quick. All I need is rents and purchase price.
So yeah, listed price is 3,499,750.
So we call that 3.5 million.
Yeah, 3.5. Should have just said that. And then
I'm not too bright.
The monthly rental is 11,150.
Okay.
And then the insurance.
Nope, I don't care about anything else. 11,150 divided by 4 equals. Sorry, 11,000. 11,000. How much?
11,150.
I'm just going to call it 11,000 to make life easy. Oops, that's 110,000. Jeez, I'm a moron here today. Okay, 11,000 divided by 4. So yeah, my monthly payment to them would be 2,750. Okay. You can get them to agree to that with $175,000 down. You got a deal. It's a great deal.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Super simple. No amortization, no putting it in the calculator. No, I don't worry about anything else because I know I'm getting, I know that the money that I'm going to be getting is, 11,000 minus. Yeah. So I know I'm pulling in 8,250 every month. That's going to cover everything. I'm sure of it, And so I just keep it simple because I can get into the minutia after we get a contract going or after we get things, and then I'll look at it even tighter. But to start off with, I just want to make that phone call. I just want to get those other leads. That's the most important part.
All right, that's helpful.
Yeah, because if you do calculations before you call, you'll get about 3 calls in for the day. If you do it the way that I do it, you'll get in 20. And you'll actually get people, and that's 20 actual answers because you need time to dial and get the people that don't answer and all that stuff. Your odds are 10 times better. You're going to get something because this is the treasure hunt. That's all it is.
Okay, cool. Totally different spin on what I was thinking, but really helpful.
Good. I hope that helps. Yeah, because I'm not too bright, and so it really is geared towards kind of the morons in the group, and I'm the leader of all the morons. I mean, there's not going to be somebody dumber than me. And it's the thing. It's the same thing. The analogy is like I'm going to go search for gold, but I'm not going to take a shovel and I'm not going to dig in the dirt. I'm going to talk about what could possibly be where and look around and see. It's like, no, let's just dig in the dirt and see if we can find it. It's great. It's great to know those numbers, but let's just dig in the dirt. We're going to have one more.
Even on like the multifamily deals, I think someone else had said just leave out the assignment fees because it gets negotiated later.
Yep, it all depends on the buyer, and that's the other thing. I think we've overinflated the assignment fees to the point where everybody gets disappointed when they do a sell and all they get is $1,000, let's say. But I'm like, okay, when's the last time you made a phone call and you made $1,000? Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's like finding $500, $1,000 on the ground. Like you made a phone call. Like, shut up. Enjoy your money. That's where I'm at. I mean, and if you do that 10 times a day, now you got 10 grand, But everybody wants to flex when they get the $100,000 assignment fee. I don't believe them. I just never do because it's we want that to happen for everybody. But let's go after. Let's chip away.
Okay, cool. Well, sweet. All right, I'm going to call her back. I'm going to go through a bunch.
All right, good. Go after it. And the cool thing about that is it does not cash flow. So seller finance is their only option. And so the more you can drive that home and say, there's no investor in the world that is going to buy your place. This is the only solution. And I don't think it's, you might not think it's the best solution, but it's the only solution. So, we're willing to do it, and we'll buy your place. And in 10 years, you're going to be all paid out, and you're going to be really happy.
Yeah, and this thing's been sitting on the market for literally an entire year. I think it was 360.
Oh, perfect. Even better. And even tell them how much money they're losing. Like, don't see how much they have in vacancies and all that stuff. Like, you guys want to still believe that, or do you want to go positive?
Yeah,
it's a good motivator. It's a really good motivator.
It's a quadplex, and I think it's full, but it's the asking price is just crazy.
Yeah, but there's motivation there. So let's find out their motivation. They might be so sick of dealing with toilets and light bulbs and all that stuff too. And again, those numbers I gave you are the bottom number. You can happily, go up just a little bit, but go slowly when you go up.
So max. So you think maximum? I'm trying to think what the maximum limits would be. I think you said earlier no more than 10% down payment.
Right.
And then,
exactly.
Yeah, that other guy. So yeah, the other one, he was $439 asking price. It's a multifamily with Section 8 at cash flow as well, but he wants $100,000 down payment and 8% interest.
Yeah. Yeah, we just don't do. I don't do interest. I'm not. Most buyers don't want interest.
But even 100K down payment, I don't think anybody's going to do that, right? That's 22%.
No, they won't buy it. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that one's been sitting on the market for like 5 or 6 months. I'll just be like, that's too high of a down payment.
Well, and give them this and say, hey, this doesn't expire. The lowest one. Just say that offer doesn't expire. So come back anytime. I'm totally, and then follow up with them, because time heals all wounds. I mean, you can get good stuff. All right, bro. Good job.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much.
Okay, take care. All right, I think Sharon is in here. Where is she? She takes over at 10, so I'm going to bow out and sneak over to whatever it is I've put together. My 16-year-old said, okay, here's what you got to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll move over to that one. Sharon, where are you? Do you guys see? Let's see if she's late. I'll just check it. Sometimes she'll put an announcement out that she's not doing it or something. Hang on, let me check. I see Sharon here. Let's see if we can find her. I'll send her a message and see if she's coming in. Okay, we'll see what she says. Oh, well, that didn't make. Did I send that to? Where did I send? Oh, yeah, that's right. Double check in. Hold on just 1 second. Sorry, guys. Dead air. Not fun. Let me see here. Well, I'm gonna switch over to mine. So if you guys want to hang tight for Sharon, she should be here. And then I'm gonna get my new one started and see if that even is anything anybody wants to go to. So I'm gonna cut out of this one and I'll go over to that one, and I'll see you guys later. All right. Hopefully Sharon's here. There she is. She's so good. Right on time. I'm going to bow out. Let the queen take over. Good seeing you. You're not in orange, and your audio's not on either. I can't hear you. Okay, as long as you got some, that's good. But you are muted or not. I can't hear you. Can anybody else hear, or is it just me? Mute. Nope, you can't. We can't hear you. But you sound way better when you're muted. I bet your husband would dream for this. I'm number one. Thank you. You're so nice. Can't understand you. Oh, that's so sad that we can't hear you. That's so great. All right, guys, you're gonna be in good shape. I'll go over to mine and see what happens. It's a new little adventure, and hang tight, and then I'll see if anybody's there. I might be there all by myself. No, I just have to figure out how to get over there. Okay. Nope, can't hear you now either. Go to your audio settings, go to your microphone, and then go to voice and video, and then check your, do you know how to do all this? And then check your input device. This is fun telling you. And then make sure your input device is set to your microphone. Do you see how that works? So they'll say default, and then they'll say your different microphone possibilities. And then you just hit it. Now I kind of want to just like make it mute on purpose so she can't get in. Oh, nope. Anything? Oh, talk to me. Nope. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. You did it. Whatever. You're good. Oh, live. I heard you hum. I heard you sing for a second, and then it went away. She thinks it's. I think she thinks it's me playing with her, but I'm not. If I could, I would for sure. Put like a little hat on her head, and I would make little bunnies bounce in the background. It still can't hear you. Maybe dump all the way out and just close and reopen. I'll keep everybody entertained until you come back. Okay, so I got nothing. I don't want to bring somebody up and then make it have to cut out of it. But hey, guys, get on the phone. I can't reiterate that enough. It's amazing the things that I'll bring everybody up to. I'm going to bring everybody that's here so you can get to Sharon's knowledge. But yeah, get on the freaking phone. That's all I can say. I don't know. I'm not allowed to promote it in here, but it's the same name. Can we hear her? It's my same name, so I don't know how to get. Sorry, I apologize. Okay. She'll be coming back here in 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to dip out, and then she will be right back in here. I don't know. I'm going to try to leave without.
I'll jump in just so it doesn't close out.
Thanks. Man. Great. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
and
so
I
it doesn't- she's here, but we still can't. I don't know if we can hear her.
Okay, I'll let you guys handle it. See ya.
Sharon, did you close out the entire app? I think your noise suppression might be too high because I can kind of hear you.